once people start coming in here, I'll continue what happened. Now I'm calmed down a little bit too. Hey, Sunny D. I'm just gonna see if anyone's gonna show back up, because somebody called my phone, and every time someone calls my phone, it like freezes up my entire phone, and I have to restart everything. So okay, let's get back into it. So I'm standing behind this guy's car, and he says that he's gonna get me arrested and thrown in jail for unlawful restraint or something. And I said, okay. And meanwhile, there was a guy in a truck, an old guy in a truck, recording us. He goes, and I'm gonna also have you arrested for kidnapping. And I'm like, if you don't know where this, if you didn't start at the first one, basically I saw a dog in a car, and its tail was like broken in half, and you could see the bone and all the muscle, and the dog was crying, and it kept trying to lick its wounds, and obviously wasn't taken care of whatsoever. It broke its tail. And I don't usually call the cops over little things with dogs, but that was like a major wound. You know, if it would have been a child with a major wound like that, cops would have been all over it. It was hard to say. It looked pretty raw and pretty red, and I should have taken a picture, and I didn't. And I'm pretty sure that dog's gonna die. Probably. But anyway, shut up, Tiffany. Shut up. Okay. So I said, okay, well, I'm not kidnapping you. You can leave. So I moved. He goes, I moved away from the back of his car. He goes, you're seriously, I said, I called the cops. And he goes, you seriously called the cops? And he looked into his car, and he goes, hey, where's my phone? My phone's missing. You stole my phone. And he goes, I had $200 sitting on the dashboard. You stole my money. He's like, I'm going to get you arrested for unlawful restraint, kidnapping, and theft. And I'm like, I'm not scared. And I moved out of the way. He got the manager of the gas station to come out and get involved. And she's like, well, I have to call the cops, because this is like we're fighting in the parking lot. So I stood next to my car so he could leave, but he didn't want to leave. Instead, he started to verbally degrade me. He said, I know your type. You're a drama queen, which, by the way, I'm not. I just don't like seeing animals like in that state. That's all, okay? So he goes, yeah, you're older. You've lost your looks. You probably don't have any education. Yeah, exactly, right, Damien's Cloud? He goes, I'm gonna have them search your car. He goes, I know your type. You have nothing in your life, and all you have is your dog, and you're sad, and, well, I don't even remember all the horrible things he said to me. So, I don't care that he was saying shit about me, but I was so worried about that dog, And I'm like, the cops are not gonna get here in time, and this guy's gonna leave. So the guy with the footage, who was recording me, starts to leave. And he goes, hey, buddy, do you want a copy of this? And the dog owner was too busy berating me. So the guy with the footage left. And as soon as the guy with the footage left, the dog owner got in his car and left. So the manager came back out and was like, what happened? I said, he left. And I said, what do I do? Do I stay here? Because I called the cops and you called the cops. And like, I've never had issues. I've never called the cops or any, like, I didn't know what to do. I called my husband. He's like, just leave. And I'm like, well, I can't just leave. I called the cops, you know? So I was like, smoking a cigarette. I'm like, all right, if the cops don't get here in like 5 minutes, I guess I'll leave, because I don't know when they're going to get here. But because the gas station called, the cops told me they had a few people call. I don't know if they were calling about me, probably because I was causing a ruckus or whatever. But he left. Cops got there about 5 minutes later. And I know. It's like, you feel helpless, like, what else can you do, right? So then the cop was like, well, you gave us his license plate and we can track him down. I'm like, yeah, right. Like, you're going to track him down over this, And he's like, you don't want to stand behind someone's car. And I'm like, yeah, I know that was stupid. I said he could have me arrested or whatever. He's like, no, like, he could have had a gun and he could have shot you. And I'm thinking in the back of my brain, like, I'm so glad I didn't have my gun, because I was losing my mind. I held it together until I called my husband, and then I just kind of started crying. And then mid-cry, the cops show up, and I'm crying like an idiot, And he's like, I go, it's me, I'm the one that called, And he's like, well, you did all that you could. He goes, but you don't want to put yourself in harm's way. It's not worth getting shot over. It's like, what do you do? I know it's just a dog, okay? And it's not even my dog. I don't know the dog. I don't know what happened. I just know that you don't leave an exposed bone out in a dirty car. It's going to get an infection. He's like, the dog owner, I'm sorry, this isn't like a linear story, I'm going back and forth, but the dog owner was like, do you want my business card? And I'm like, yeah, I'll take your business card. And he goes, you know what? Never mind, I don't want to give you my business card. Like, he was so full of empty threats. It was just, like, ridiculous. And he goes, do you want the number to my vet? And I'm sure if I would have said yes, he would have said, oh, I can't find it, right? But I said, no, I don't want the number to your vet. That's not my responsibility. Your responsibility is to take care of your dog. So, I mean, that's basically it. The cop took my license, my driver's license. I have no criminal record. I mean, the worst thing I've ever done is gotten a speeding ticket. I'm sure that he's probably checking for warrants, but I wasn't the bad guy here. So I've just been stressed out. It's just more stress that I didn't need. I should have just left it alone, but when you see something like that, it's like, it was god awful looking. I know wounds, and you don't have exposed bones on your animals and think that's okay. And you don't air them out in a dirty environment like his car. I know they have to check me, but they check you for warrants and shit. I know that. And I'm compliant because I am not a lawbreaker. It's just like, they're not going to get that guy. I know they're not. I told them his height, his what he looked like. He had blue eyes. He was 52. He told me he was 52 after he told me how ugly and old I was. I was like, there's nothing else I can possibly do, And it just, good thing you were afraid. You did the right thing. A good thing that you were afraid to call the cops because you were not a lawbreaker. Yeah. I'm sorry I'm not reading the chat. And I wasn't reading the chat the other night, and I hurt someone's feelings, and I didn't mean to. It's just this. They have cameras. Because when I was in there, I was watching the cameras because I was keeping an eye on my dog, because my dog was in the car, but it's not hot enough yet that it's a danger. I would never do that to Titus or any dog ever. I had the windows down. It's comfortable out right now. And the whole time that I was in the gas station, I only had to get one thing. I was watching my car on the cameras. So they have cameras, but this isn't like a drug deal where they need footage and shit. You know, it's just like an animal abuse case, and those cases are just like not that important to people, not important to the law, you know. Right? If I had a warrant, you think I'm gonna call the cops on a dog thing? You know what though? People are stupid and they've done stuff like that. I've heard 911 calls where people are calling to complain that someone stole their weed, like before it was legal. Damien's Cloud, I hope you're right, because that dog's gonna die. It's gonna die if nothing happens. I should have taken a picture, you know. And I asked the cop, I was like, is it kidnapping if I'm standing behind the car of someone? He goes, no, but don't stand behind the car of someone, which is right. And he was super nice to me because I was crying and I know I'm stupid. Thank you guys for the nice things you're saying, but like, I mean, wouldn't you do the same? He was literally reaching for everything he could possibly think to get me, degrade me, threaten me with all kinds of ridiculous accusations. And I am going to read all your comments. I probably after the live, because I know I'm missing a whole bunch of them. I was trying to keep my composure, but I wasn't letting him give me any crap. I was like, I did not take your money. You're reaching for stuff to find me, and this literally just happened. That's why I'm so upset, because I'm not that far away from that gas station, and I just got home and I just needed to vent, and this is like my venting place, I guess. And thank you for being so nice. I kept telling the cop that too, because cops always get a bad rap, you know, but he was really nice. He goes, well, I don't know that I'm being nice, I'm being factual. I'm like, yeah, but you're not yelling at me. So he's like, you didn't do anything wrong. He's like, don't worry, you're fine. He's like, it's okay to call. You can call, you know, when there's that kind of thing going on. No hugs. I don't like hugs. But that's my story. That's it. The cops were called multiple times, apparently. Oh, yeah, he said, you should have told him I was a YouTube star. I don't want him finding me on YouTube. Are you kidding? He's like, you dye your hair because you want attention. I'm like, no, I dye my hair because it's fun. I don't know. Attention. I'm a hermit. I don't go out and try to get attention. Like, I guess YouTube's kind of attention, but it's more like just friends talking, you know? Because I don't have, like, friends to call and talk to about this stuff. So, anyways, I'm not gonna cry anymore. I'm done. I'm done crying on live streams. It's ridiculous. 2 days in a row. No, that guy was a horrible piece of shit. Thank you. I don't know how proud you should be, because nothing happened. Like, you know, thank you guys so much for saying that. But, like, nothing's gonna come of this. I just know it. I just couldn't help the dog, you know? And I know you can't help every dog you see that's in trouble. I know that. But, like, it's, like, so obviously glaring at me in my face. What am I supposed to do? You know, just ignore it and pretend like it's not there? Like, I feel so bad. I would have done the same thing if it was a kid. I would have done the same thing if it was an injured person. Like, it's not just because it was a dog. Like, people are just horrible. They're horrible. I hate people so much. I don't even know that there's an animal control around here. Where I live, it sucks. They didn't have a humane officer for, like, the longest time. They had some guy that was, like, a volunteer, but Oh, Stephanie's trying to text me. I can't text her right now. Stephanie from Random Reviews with Stephanie. My husband thinks I'm a basket case because I'm crying. Same, Dana. It's like, what happened after he said, "You're in the way of my cart"? I was trying to stall, right? I was trying to stall so the cops would get there. But after he started threatening me with all of these accusations that he's like, you don't know the law and you're going to go to jail. And I wasn't sure. I was like, you know what? He might be right. Like, if I do block his way of leaving, I do think that's like illegal. So I moved because I don't want anything on my record for that piece of shit guy. But he wouldn't leave. After I moved, he just started berating me. Losing it, you guys. I'm losing it. This is me at rock bottom. No, well, not rock bottom. Psych ward was right, rock bottom, but close. Anyways, that's why the cops were called. Probably on me, and I called them. So, and then I felt responsible, so I felt I didn't want to leave until I talked to the cop. But what? I'm not gonna do anything. I don't have a ton of stress. Well, who doesn't? Everybody has stress, you know? It's just, yeah, the cop was like, I showed up, I'm like in the middle of like ugly crying, and he's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I don't even know." I'm like, "Yeah." And then before he left, after he checked my license, he's like, "You're okay to drive?" Oh, and then he said, "You don't want to get shot." He goes, "Look, you got that little one to take care of." He's talking about Titus. And I was just like, "Yeah, I know." This is why I don't take my gun with me. Because I'm the kind of person that would lose it. Well, maybe. I don't know. I keep my gun at home for everyone's safety. Oh my god. Thank you guys so much for just listening to me being like ridiculous and just saying nice things, and my husband's looking at me weird. He's like, "Oh my god, she's still crying." He hates it to see me cry. It literally makes him upset. Not like sympathy upset, like, "Oh, here we go again," upset. Everyone's safe except for that dog. Everyone is safe except for that dog. That's why I'm crying. I don't care that he said I was ugly and old. I don't care that he tried to get me arrested, because he's the one that left, right? So if he had all this on me and he really wanted to see me go down, he would have stayed to get me arrested, because he was pissed because someone called the cops on him. So his leaving means his guilt. And I'm tired of seeing abuse. There've been so many circumstances where I couldn't get involved. I couldn't get involved with abuse, animal abuse. And I still feel guilty about that years later. No, he had Texas plates. But the cop said that there's a lot of oil workers that are up here working on the oil fields or whatever, and that's probably what he did. So, will I hear anything about this again? Probably not. Did I do the right thing? I don't know, because nothing's gonna come of it, and all it's doing is upsetting me. But, you know, somebody has to be the voice of, you know, the victims. I feel like if nobody else will say something, I will. Anyways, okay, that's the story. That's all I have to say about it. I don't want to keep you guys here. I just wanted to vent, and I wanted to tell you what happened. And I'm not asking for empathy. I just want you to know that life is unfair. That's all I can say. Yeah, it's true. If you see something, you should say something. Well, thank you guys. I'm gonna go. This just like ruined my whole day. I'll look up animal control in my area and see if there's anything else I can do about it. Thank you for the advice, everyone. You guys have a good rest of your day. Sorry if I brought you down. Pray for that dog. That's all I can say. Pray for that poor dog. You guys have a wonderful day. I love you all.